thinking about it, but
that I know it. Keep it in my head.
hey Joe, you want to check my Twitter and just see if it's live? I actually didn't test it ahead of time. I just typed in the stream key and said YOLO.
I think we might have one more speaker before him.
I think he's next, though, from what I...
This official schedule is 10:45, but we might be ahead. We're either ahead or behind.
I did feel bad for the last panel, talking about how bullish institutions are on Ethereum with the price at 2,000. Oh yeah, it says live. Okay. Service is shit, but I see the red bar. Is this Jiho's entry music, dude?
You're watching?
This is meta, dude. It's a great angle. We're watching.
Hey everybody, how are you doing this morning? So excited to see so many people who showed up for Friday morning. Shocking. I know how difficult it is to get out of bed when you're trying to go to like a temple nightclub or church nightclub. I don't know where everybody went last night. This is probably the responsible group. But anyways, moving on. We are at the L3 junction of Ethereum. I don't know how many L's are going to be before everything's scaled and everybody around the world is using Ethereum, but excited to have Colton Dillon here today from DGen and Quip Network. Thanks, Dylan.
That's not Jiho.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, warm up.
Hey everybody, my name is Colton Dillon. I'm one of the co-founders of DGen. We're a token that is native to Base, but also native to Farcaster. Community launched. We're here to answer the question of why an L3, because as a community we decided to launch an L3. And we think that the real answer is that L3s need high throughput, right? And we want to be in memes, media, and markets. And if you want to be in memes, media, and markets, that's going to require a lot of transactions. People are posting content every day. If you want to reward people for posting content every day, then you need to have that high throughput. Additionally, having an L3 allows you to offer a simpler on-ramp because you don't have to work, you're already in a less decentralized mode, and so you don't have to worry as much about having decentralized oracles, decentralized validators, things of this nature. And then ultimately, it's about audience. Why do people use any chain? It's because they have a specific affinity to that brand or to that idea, and they want to continue working in those spaces. A little bit about our credibility. Last year, we hit an all-time high of 2 billion. We have currently 1 million holders of DGen on Base alone, and we're also on Solana, Arbitrum, and the DGen chain. We gave out $47 million in tips. Again, it was a community launch token. We didn't have a sale. We just airdropped it to Farcaster users, and then we gave them the ability to distribute future airdrops to other users of Farcaster by commenting on people's posts. And through that, we gave over $47 million last year. We have 550 million DGen in TVL. 33% of daily active Farcaster users, their daily interaction will be a tip. And we have 875 million DGen locked in a vault for those tips. And why is that? It's because we're the meme with a dream, right? We want people to get paid to produce, consume, and share memes, and we want them to do that on the Las Vegas and blockchains, which is DGen L3. So why, right? We think that we're moving into the world of distributed studios. We started out with Mickey Mouse and Disney, where there was one guy hiring a bunch of artists and producers and voice actors to make a 2.5-hour piece of content over 2 years. Then we got Nintendo, where they threw programmers into the mix, and they spent 4 years to make a 60-hour piece of content that you could consume a little bit at a time. Then we moved to the YouTube generation, where you have a lot of decentralized creators who are spending a week at a time to make a 15-minute piece of content, and you, the consumer, get to choose how much you consume, from when, from whom. And then we get TikTok, where you have individual creators who are producing 15-second pieces of content over 30 minutes, and they're in dialogue with each other, creating these narratives, and you get to assemble your seasons, you get to assemble your entertainment, and memes are the next evolution in that step, where now anyone can create a little 2-second piece of content. It shows up in your feed, you laugh, and you spend hours scrolling to consume that thing. But how do those creators get paid? That's where DGen comes in. And we do this on the L3 because you really need that throughput to reward those creators, right? You're getting a trade-off between data availability, transaction cost, throughput, and your decentralization. So if you want to be on Ethereum, where you're really decentralized, you're going to pay for it. And that's why we need to put your roll up in your roll up so you can roll up while you roll up. Because you actually need that decentralization, that re-centralization to hit the throughput needs, right? Ethereum last year during March, you were paying $11 per transaction. You're not going to pay $11 per transaction to reward someone 20 cents worth of degen on Farcaster. Base, similarly, hit an average of 60 cents per transaction during March last year. And so, when we hit these limits, the costs go up and your ability to do these microtransactions degrades. Even Solana, during the pumped on fun craze last month, they were hitting an average of 14, 18 cents per transaction. So supposedly these high throughput chains are not high throughput enough for the actual applications that are going to hit massive scale. And that's why you need to shard out and you need to use other rollups. You can also offer simplicity. There are providers in the space like Arbitrum, Gelato. A lot of the validators on Ethereum are using AWS already. So are you really getting the decentralization that you claim you are? Additionally, you have the option to provide pre-packaged oracles, right? Farcaster, a lot of the data is only available with reliability through Nanar. So most people are consuming Farcaster data through one organization. You have Chainlink is providing all the oracles, but maybe if you're using an L3, you just build in the oracles because you're already trusting them to be your centralized validator. Or you can bring real world information on chain like Bloomberg because you're already accepting this trade-off. So there are other reasons to use L3s. Additionally, as an L3, you can provide a lot more customization because you are narrowing your community, right? If you want specific precompiles, if you want specific auction formats for block space, if you want specific data streams, you can talk to your L3 and they're more likely to work with you to get you the things that you need in order to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And then, of course, you have your audience. At DGen, we're very aligned with Base and Farcaster, and Telegram is the source of the most average users around the world. And so you can really narrow in on these audiences and serve them very well with your specific setup on your specific chain. Why does anyone use any of these brands? Well, why does anyone hold a bag? It's because they saw someone they identified with that bag and they wanted to pay money to be like that person. And so L3s are similar in that sense, in that people identify with what you are trying to produce and your vision of the world that you see in the future. And for DGen, we consider ourselves the decentralized generation, right? We want you to find your own DGen world and to make it as a decentralized community. We're offering bounties for people who want to build on DGen at the intersection of means, media, and markets, and the grants will be retroactive and contingent on actually reaching milestones, but also we do want to build brand value with you in the DGen ecosystem, so it's exclusive, and that means we will market the hell out of you to all of our users and the people who they want to market to. And we do this in a peer-to-peer fashion through tips. With that, the hat stays on. We're really excited to have people building on DGen, and we hope that you consider L3s for your project, even if it's not us.
Yay! Cool hats.
Are there any questions? All right, great crowd.
Yeah. My only question was about the hats.
I was actually curious. I've been seeing a lot of panels. I was here all day yesterday. Nobody's ever asked for questions until that.
Yep, there it is. We got Axie Labs here. What's going on? We got Cloud. Oh, that's my hand. Cloud White here, and Zyori here without a selfie stick. So I'm doing this super manual. My arms are about to fall off. I think Jiho is speaking next. I hope you all can hear me. That was a little preamble. Cloud White, what do you think about ETH Denver so far? What do you,
had a good time.
What do you think about the venue? Are you enjoying the livestock smell?
Well, you can look at the big crowd here, you know.
A huge audience. A lot of people excited to learn about Axie. How about you, Axie Labs? Is this your first ETH Denver?
First ETH Denver. It's been great learning about ETH, I guess, but it
How do you like the smell?
smells like money, baby.
Smells like money.
There's so many VCs here.
It
There's
smells
so
bullish
many
in
people.
here, gang.
There's so many people trying to make it big.
Oh, how do I flip?
hoping I'm not boring you or anything, but I think super relevant right now in the Ethereum community is how to onboard the next wave. How do we get those next billion users, as everybody always says. Here to talk about this today, we have Jiho from Sky Mavis, Axie Infinity, and the Ronin Network. Super excited to have him here today. Good friend of mine, just recently launched Ronin. So let's give a round of applause for Jiho.
Woo! All right.
All right. Good morning, Denver. Yes, my second or third time being here, but my first time here on the main stage. And yeah, couldn't be more excited to be with you guys today. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room today. How do we actually onboard real people to Ethereum? We have some experience with this, we'll share some learnings, and we'll actually puncture some myths about what's actually happening on the EVM. So there's been a toxic myth spreading recently that everyday people don't use Ethereum. And this is dangerous. This is actually causing people to incorrectly believe that Solana is winning. But this is only true if you don't know where to look. Let's take a look at Ronin. Ronin is a gaming-focused EVM chain. Many of you guys probably know about it from the Axie heyday back in 2021. Ronin was initially built out to scale Axie Infinity, and over time it's become a more generalized gaming chain. So originally built for Axie, now king of the gaming chains, and it was actually the most used EVM chain of 2024 after Ethereum. I believe there's a perception that, oh, retail isn't here this cycle, people aren't actually being onboarded. The only thing that people are using is meme coins. I'm here to dispel that. Actually zoom out. Web3 gaming, specifically Web3 gaming on Ronin, is larger than it's ever been. Today, there are 600,000 daily active addresses on the Ronin chain. And if you look at this chart is a movie, right? You can see that transactions and users have actually surpassed the levels from the Axie boom of 2021. So if you follow along, you can see that Ronin launched in 2021, had a massive run-up in traction due to Axie, and then we had a really rough, brutal bear market. But the community never wavered, and from the bear, we've seen an explosion in activity. So we have to give a shout out to a team that really started to catalyze this wave. Pixels. What is Pixels? Pixels is kind of like Web3 Stardew Valley. It's the second Web3 game to hit millions of users, sent a shockwave through the space. It proved that Ronin could evolve and become about way more than Axie. An interesting thing is that the Pixels team actually reached out to us and wanted to work with Ronin. Why? Because we actually had experience building a Web3 game. We had the experience from Axie about how to actually scale a Web3 game to millions of users, manage incentives, right? These are all invaluable lessons that we're able to share with the games that are deploying on Ronin. Another thing that has just been uncovered by Peter from 1KX is that Ronin's retention metrics are actually insane. Ronin's D30 retention is actually 17.5x higher than Solana's. Why? Well, this makes sense, right? If you lose money on meme coins, you get wrecked on meme coins, right? 90% of people who are using Pump.Fun are losing money. You're gonna leave after a couple of days, a week. It's not something that's sticky or for the long term. Whereas with gaming, I grew up playing World of Warcraft, and I couldn't quit. It took me 4 years to quit because all of my friends were playing WoW. And that's what's happened with Ronin. We built this incredibly sticky gaming community, originally through Axie, that's now been able to transition to playing other games on the Ronin network as well. So these are some of the faces. These are some of the real people. And one thing that I want to mention is that, so we're here in Denver, many of us are Americans, and it might be hard to see where are the real people that are using Ethereum, right? East Denver doesn't look any bigger than it was last year or 2 years ago. It might even be a little bit smaller. Where are the people that are using these applications? Our experience is that you can almost basically chart the places where crypto adoption actually happens, where people are actually downloading wallets, transacting on chain, playing games, using DeFi. The majority of the real people that are performing these actions are actually in places like Brazil, Argentina, the Philippines, places where inflation is incredibly high, governments are incredibly corrupt, and Web3 actually offers a tangible benefit. Of course, this also applies to incentives. Why? Well, Web3 is a little bit like allegory of the cave. It's very hard to articulate the ideals and get someone to decide to join in. That's why we found that when you're able to get people their first crypto by using an application, playing a game, they're able to have that aha moment, that magic moment that gets them to cross the chasm. Incentives help someone experience something that cannot be described in words, which are the real benefits of ownership and property rights. So after Pixels, we've had a great wave of builders come onto the Ronin chain. And we have some amazing case studies of how we've helped them grow and reach their goals. Because this ultimately is what we believe a chain should do. Support the builders that are actually getting users. And this is something that I believe the Ethereum ecosystem as a whole needs to learn a bit more about. So Pixels went from 5,000 DAU to 1.3 million daily active users after migrating to Ronin. Forgotten Runiverse had a 15x increase in unique testers after migrating to Ronin. Lumiterra saw a 120% increase in new players after migration. Fableborn saw testers in Season 2, which was on Avalanche, go from 103,000 to 150,000 after migrating to the Ronin network. So I was asked to speak here today about what Ethereum, perhaps maybe even the Ethereum Foundation, the Ethereum leadership, right? This could also be the Ethereum community. What can we learn from Ronin? Well, I was honored to even be asked that question. But the way that I see it is that builders, especially now more than ever, they need help with distribution. The tech has been commodified. The tech is good enough. What builders now need are golden cohorts of users, and the chains that can specialize in this, the EVM side chains, layer 2s, layer 3s, the chains that can specialize in this for the Ethereum ecosystem are gonna be the winners. So we've had really great commentary from some of the teams building on Ronin. Maria from Fableborn, who actually used to work on RuneScape, said that the Ronin team is the best of the best in this industry. They've blown me away with their expertise and publisher support that we use to help spread information and give a warm introduction for these projects to our community. We're aggressively promoting and interacting with these projects on socials. Our founders are actually using the products, playing the games. We're a gaming chain built by gamers. I think that's part of what differentiates us. And the fact that we're actually using these products, I think says a lot and does so much for the teams that we're supporting. Last, a lot of these developers, they want real advice from developers that actually have experiences building applications. I think one of the problems with infrastructure right now in Ethereum is that you have people who specialize in building infrastructure, but they don't actually know too much about how to get users and how to build applications. I think this is the interesting thing about what Ronin does and what other EVM chains should be doing is we have insights from building Axie, how to actually onboard users, and we give that advice and that experience to the teams that we're working with. Recently, we had a very important moment for the Ronin network. Ronin is officially open. So Ronin existed for many years as a permissioned chain, as a curated chain. But recently, we opened it up to all builders, and we've seen a sharp increase in the number of smart active contracts and active deployers on the Ronin network. So yeah, if you feel inspired, if you're interested in building on Ronin, definitely feel free to contact me on Telegram. You can scan this QR code to learn more about what we're doing, how to get involved, how to use Ronin products, how to build on Ronin. All the information is in that one link, wiki.roninchain.com. Thank you, and shout out to the Ronki community.
Woo! All right. AXS, baby. Pump it.
Bump me. Dude, he came out with fire, bro.
That was
passion, dude.
Good.
Everybody here has been so like low key and chill, and he was just like, "I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
gonna give you what you guys need."
The room is full now that Jiho's done. This is amazing. The energy was brought. What up, Axie Fit? Just got back from doing some pull-ups.
Yep, that was it.
That's good.
Did you miss it or did you see
No,
it?
Cloud White, any initial reactions? Our stream disconnected halfway through, so I don't even know if they can hear us.
He
but-
came with the fire, dude. I feel like he was like.
Perfect. All right. That's we got the real HD here in the hands of Cloud White. Well, we're gonna go venture around. Thanks for joining.